back. My name is Tamara Gady. I am your host. And today we are doing part 2 of a podcast that I just recorded with my special guest about how to get deals done through 2022 and what's going to happen in the market. So now we're going to take that information and apply it so that realtors have some strategies that they can use, not only with content on social media, but also when they're having conversations with their buyers and sellers, and also applying that to how they're writing their contracts. But first, again, my name is Tamara Gady. I'm your host. If you like my content, you're really going to love my escrow team. So let's get a conversation going about your title needs. And you can reach out to me on all of my social media platforms. I would love to hear from you, and let me see how I can help you get your business to grow. Bob Johnson was on part 1 of my podcast, so of course he's on part 2 of my podcast. Bob Johnson is actually known as Bob Mortgage, and he is a lender savant. That's what I'm going to call you today. That's your new name, lender savant. And so thanks, Bob, again for being my guest. Let's dive right into it. So we just got done talking about home appreciation values, how buyers are going to be able to afford housing going forward with a rise in interest rates. But, we're not going to sit in that negative pocket here. We're going to talk about some solutions for our realtor clients. So how are we going to take the information that we just discussed and turn it into value for our realtors? Yeah. Let's start with maybe unless you have somewhere else you want to start, which you can, maybe how do we apply the market knowledge to conversations we're going to have on social media, doing videos, doing content, things like that?
So I'm gonna flip my lender hat off and I'm gonna put my media hat on.
Got it.
Right.
BX Media is in the house.
BX Media. So now I'm off of Bob Mortgage on to BX Media. So this is definitely a media piece, and you could have the best website in the world, but if nobody knows how to get to it, you're not going to have any visitors. You could have the amazing amount of content, but if you don't ever distribute that content, you're never going to have the attention of your client, right? So this is really about how do you use the content that you have, what's up in your head, right? What you've gained through your economic forecast, what people read in Inman, what they see from other people's, social media profiles, or what they see from other articles or emails that they get. How do you use that? And should you, right, to be able to put that out there on social media? So I think the easy answer is, should you use it? Yes, 100%, absolutely. Yeah. And I swipe and adapt, right? People should swipe and adapt content and make it their own.
I call it plagiarizing.
I like swipe and adapt.
I'm very good at it. But you know what? Swipe and adapt is a good one, but a lot of the conversations I've been having with Kyle Draper right now is taking those everyday questions. I don't know that we could scrap all of this right here. I don't know that you actually need to take what we just talked about in our market conversation. No. What you as a realtor could do is take the everyday questions. What common questions are you getting when you go and talk to someone about a listing presentation or working with a new buyer? What are they sweating? What are they having a hard time with?
So there's a lot of different ways to be able to distribute content, right? There's emails, there's text, there's videos, right? There's podcasts, there's there's a plethora of sources to be able to get that content out to your audience. You have to find your most comfortable voice and be able to then figure out how you're going to turn that on the back end, right? So there's the production side, and then there's the post-production side, and you have to understand, are you going to be doing all of it yourself, or are you going to be hiring out a portion of that, right? Because that's where we have found most people will get bogged down and they don't know what to do, or they know they want to do something, but they stop, right? Because they don't know how to do everything.
Analysis
so they just never,
paralysis.
They just stop. So that's where kind of BX Media came into play. But, I think that, and I just went off topic for a second, so point me back in the right direction.
I'm supposed to help you get back on the track?
Yeah, I know,
okay.
I know. It was that Celsius I just drank.
So kind of what I put on the table, instead of taking I still want people to listen to the previous podcast, right? Yeah. Because there was a lot of golden nuggets in there about how realtors can have more conversations with their clients. But taking you're already hearing what the issues are in the market as a practicing realtor.
Well, they live in the content. People,
Correct.
they do get analysis by paralysis because they stop and they try to figure out, okay, now I need to go home and write down the 5 questions that I had and then do a video and all that kind of stuff. If you truly will live in the content, and when you had a conversation with somebody, as soon as that conversation's over, turn the phone around and do a quick, like, hey, and I call these like challenge solutions, right? I do this like the 1-minute mortgage solution.
Sure.
I do that for my mortgage business, but the agents can do that for their real estate business and just be able to turn the phone around and have a quick conversation. Hey, I just had a phone call with a particular client and this was their challenge or this was their question. And here's my solution or here's how I answered it, right? And so now you have a question or challenge, and then you have an answer or a solution that can be used in video format, in a reel, TikTok reel, IG reel, an Instagram post, Facebook, whatever, or it could just be audio that's distributed out there, or you can take it and put it out there in text format on any of your social platforms, right? So you don't have to overthink a lot of that stuff. It's just capturing the challenge, solution, question, answer in the moment, because our lives are so all over the place that if we don't do it in the moment, you're probably going to forget about it, and life is going to happen, and you're not going to remember to do that phone turning it around and doing
Okay,
it
well,
that way.
that's easy for men to say because sometimes us ladies aren't camera ready. So I'm okay with women writing some things down and coming back to them later, because I wouldn't want to do it while you should see me when I go to the grocery store. I'm not doing a video.
Well, so there's an app that I'm on, and I'm on it because my kids are on it. It's called Be Real, and I think it's a phenomenal app because it forces you to take a picture of what you're doing at that time in that moment.
Oh, I know what it is.
Okay, to be able to see what all your other friends are doing. If you don't take it, you can't see. Right. So you're being real, authentic in that moment, and people, connect with you that way. I agree with you. There are times when you're probably not properly positioned to take a video, in your most authentic self, but at the same time,
sometimes we're a
you don't
little
have to
too
look perfect.
authentic, Bob.
Yeah, you don't have to look perfect to do it, right? Because that's what your client probably looks like sometimes as well.
Oh yeah,
right.
We've
So
had that
they're okay
conversation
with
today.
that.
Yeah,
they're okay with that.
Well, I think I really like the idea of, while we might agree to disagree on the take it right then video part. I like the take one question away from your listing presentation or your buyer conversation and turn that into a video and make it less than a minute.
100%. You don't need to have a 30-minute or 5-minute
because
topic.
I think that's where a lot of people get overwhelmed is, I was talking with a client today and I told her, I talk for 30 minutes on a podcast. She was like, 30 minutes? Like, what in the world am I going to talk about for 30 minutes? And then I really blew her mind when I was like, well, I record back-to-back podcasts. So we do a bunch of it all at once.
Yeah.
But, I think it makes it a lot more low impact when you talk about one question, one answer, one video.
Yeah.
And you're done.
Yeah.
Right then. You're going to have to do more.
Yeah. I used to want to work out, and I didn't get up all the time to work out. I didn't really have anything that was like almost forcing me to do that. And so when I hired a trainer and I started paying them to train me, I get up and work out 3 times a week, like clockwork, and I don't miss because I have an accountability partner.
Sure.
I think agents need to find an accountability partner. And if that ends up being a editor that will edit videos for you that you have to pay, then it's going to put you on a schedule to make sure that you're doing 1, 2, 3 videos, whatever it is, 5 videos that you want to put out a week. And you have a little skin in the game, and you have a commitment to somebody else that is on a schedule with you that is waiting for your content. And it will almost force them to take action. Some people need that little push.
Sure. I know a lot of people that need that little push. So let's do this. I'm going to put you on the spot because you talk with consumers all the time. I would like for you to name 3 to 5 questions.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to say the answers.
Okay.
Just questions that you're getting from consumers right now in this market that realtors could answer, not in the depth that you could answer, okay, to do a video on. I want 3 content ideas based on current market conditions for realtors.
Sure. Should I buy or should I wait? Right? Should I buy now or should I wait to buy?
Okay.
Okay. What would this home have cost me if I would have bought in 2020 versus what it's costing me today? Is it a better investment to buy now, or what would happen if I wait to 2023? That's kind of like the same kind of question, but very specific as it relates to price. I mean, we talked about in the normalizing market. Are home prices? Are we depreciating in our market, or is it more of a normalized market? What's happening with home prices? I mean, because that's what everybody's kind of really focused on is the pricing side. But then you can get into what's a better location to be able to purchase in if I'm looking for a payment of $2,500, or if I'm looking for a sales price of $450. What's my best neighborhood for value? You know, that like something like that. I would do like questions that an agent would get asked. Is that what we're also talking about, or is it just
absolutely.
what I get asked?
Well, we're creating content for them, ideas for them right now.
Okay.
That's basically what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
But what I wanted you as a realtor. So I'm a realtor. I'm Tamara Gady. I'm a real estate agent. I work in Frisco, Texas.
Right.
I want to do video, but I don't know what to talk about. But I want to do video based on what's happening in the market right now, what consumers are concerned about. Because when when my clients watch my video, I want them to know that I'm an expert in the local market, right? And what's happening right now.
Yeah, so I would definitely start with any type of challenge or solution, right? So, I mean, that's what I think people love to hear, is because they can identify with challenges, and then when you provide the solution, it ties it up in a nice little bow that you're the expert in whatever that challenge was, and that kind of then provides more of that social proof, right? So whether that's a buyer that is challenged with getting into this market with little to no money out of pocket, whether that's a buyer that was challenged with making a purchase because the market was at higher interest rates, but the solution was an ARM product or whatever. The challenge would be the buyer thinking that they couldn't afford to be able to purchase in today's market because of interest rates and home prices, and then tying that together with like seller contributions that focused on the buy down of interest rates and got their payment where they wanted to.
But I think you're going into more lender world here.
But it's still the same thing for an agent, because the agent is dealing with that on the front end. They're hearing it before the lender does. Their client is saying, I would like to be able to purchase, but I want to wait until the market gets a little bit more soft. Well, why do you think the market's going to get soft? Right. If interest rates go down, there's going to be more buyers that are going to be looking to buy a house, which is only going to further increase home prices, because it's not like inventory is coming out everywhere, and we have 6 months of inventory. I mean, it's not going to happen if interest rates go down. It's going to get harder. So it's really being able to tie all that together from 2020 to where we are today, because if we get to that lower market where we were in 2020 and 2024. We're back to the same place.
Money's in the 6 to 7%. Well, 5. You said 5 to 7, depending on the product.
Sure.
But we have, and in September as of September we have 2.3 months of inventory.
Right.
In Collin County. Right. 2.3.
Right.
A normalized market is 4 to 6. A buyer's market is 6+.
Right.
So we're still very much in a seller's market with a lack of inventory.
Correct. And so when rates go down, we're not going to be at 6% inventory.
Correct, because more people are going to want to move.
More people are going to want to move. It's going to open that up. So it's understanding the challenge that people are having today, and then tying that challenge to what people experienced on the other side of that 2020 deal, right? Which was you having to pay a lot more for the home and cash, and then painting the picture, because a lot of people don't visually see that, right? Being able to paint the picture to what it could be in 2024. None of us know, but you can only learn from the past to be able to predict the future. So the past showed us that interest rates low, home prices are are high, they have to pay more, inventory is really tight. We're already in a tight inventory right now, so it's going to get even worse in 2024 if rates go down to 4% or 3% or whatever, right? And so it's finding ways to tie those challenges, solutions, and opportunities to establish yourself as an expert and not somebody that's creating fear or too much hope, right? Because it's just about being able to be real in the market that we're in today. And I think those are the videos that I feel would get more play.
Well, and there's a lot of fear in the market right now. And we've talked about this before, and we'll continue to talk about people's attitude about the current market, right? But we somehow have to show them that this isn't a negative market. Okay. And so to me, instead of fear or over hope, which you just said very eloquently, I like challenge solution.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
To me, that addresses both, but it's addressing it in a positive way, and it's giving people more to go on. Right. If you just are like, this market sucks and interest rates are too high and money's too high, and I would just stay put and you don't even need to call me right now. Well, how is that going to help you?
Yeah.
As a realtor? It's not.
Yeah.
And then being too hopeful about what's happening when you don't know is going to position you as somebody who really doesn't know what they're talking about. So challenge solution attitude and viewpoint on videos or content that you're creating to be in front of your clients, to me, addresses that in a much better way.
And I completely agree. And it's because it's specific and people can relate with those types of specific scenarios. If you just want to be general and you talk about, well, interest rates over the last decades were this, and this, and this, people are like, okay, yeah, whatever. That's not specific enough for that person because they're looking at it, how does it impact them? Because they're in this particular situation. So when you provide challenge solution, they can relate. They can find that challenge within themselves and figure out that you're the one that has a solution to get them what they want.
And okay, so I don't know what my deal is with this pen, but I have seen over and over, like Facebook, like one person gets a hold of something and then you see them repost it over and over and over again and over again. Well, the one about what was the interest rate you paid on your first house, I have seen that like 100 million times. And I'm like, what is the point of that post? Okay, you want people to share what their very first interest rate was. What are you going to do with that information?
Right.
What do you think they're going to do with that information?
Nothing. I mean,
but that is content.
It's content.
It is content. You can take that and turn that into a video with all kinds of information, challenge solution, however you want to slice and dice it. But there's a lot of posts to me that I see on social media that are completely useless because what is the point of that post? What are you trying to do with that? What is the point?
Just to grab attention, I guess, and grab not only just attention, but grab engagement within your community and audience.
Right, but if you don't engage back...
you have to engage, yeah. Yeah, you have to engage back. If you don't
use that somehow, there's so many of those kind of posts that I see all of the time that I'm like, this is a perfect post to use for content. If you can be a little bit more, if you can think through it a little bit more,
Yeah, the thing with content, guys, is if you and I are both agents, and there's a consumer that's trying to decide who they want to go with, because I could have 26 years of experience being an agent, done all these thousands and thousands and thousands of deals, and you could be brand new as an agent. But if that consumer starts searching your profile and they see hundreds of pieces of content centered around challenges and solutions, whether they were yours or not, but it's how it's framed, and obviously there's no black or white. It's always, you got to stay right in the middle. You got to stay authentic, and you got to stay truthful. That this is a challenge that you had heard of, and this is the solution that was experienced. People don't even hear heard of or who did it, but they're hearing challenge and solution. So it's something that is validating you. If I don't put out the content at that frequency, they may never know how great I am. I just may be telling them, but that's not social proof, right? It's like people look at reviews and things like that, but I think the content that's being distributed even by you would be more valuable to that consumer than any review that's put out there on Facebook or Instagram or social media or Google business or anything like that. I don't even buy into that stuff. I just look at social proof. right? And people talk a lot about that, but I see it in videos. It's changed my business over 26 years. It's changed my media company. It's changed everything that we do.
God, I feel like you're channeling Kyle Draper.
Well, we're in the same
Emilio,
space.
we got to laugh out of the producer. Emilio laughed at that one because he knows I've had Kyle on the show. I actually had Kyle on the show not too long ago, and we actually did a piece on social proof. So,
yeah. and we're seeing, I think
Yeah.
you and I even talked about it last
Yeah.
night, or it was yesterday, whenever the days we were together, right? Because we're together quite a bit
Yeah.
On different business ventures that we have, or business events that we do. But we're starting to see more agents talk about social media and talk about doing video. And I think, and it's becoming more real for them because of like the last 2 years, the funnel was so big and business was just flowing in.
oh yeah, things
and
were
they didn't
falling out
really
of the
have
sky.
to do a whole
You didn't
lot.
have to do anything.
You have to do anything. I mean, they did, but they didn't have to do as much, right,
Correct.
to convert
Yes.
that.
Let's be clear.
Yeah, and today, I can tell you my mortgage business is busier than it's ever been, and it's not because there's just a ton of business. We're just working to create more business through media and through conversations, which has then created more business.
Yep.
Right, and so you find yourself working maybe harder and smarter at the same time with using all the media. And I think agents are starting to get smart to that and realizing, okay, I need to invest. I need to spend money and do these types of things and make a commitment. Otherwise, I'm going to get left behind, which they will.
82% of consumer content
Yeah.
is now video.
Yeah.
Consumers are consuming video content.
Mm-hmm.
This was I think last year's stat.
It's going to be more.
I've been using that stat for a while.
Look,
I like
and
that stat.
I'll say this right
But-
now. I'll say this right now. They have to be willing to invest.
For sure.
Because most of them, most agents, most people in general aren't going to be able to put it all together, right? That's why Kyle has his business. That's why
Right.
we have our business. That's why there's plenty of them out there, right? That help, because that they have the ability to communicate it, but then it never goes anywhere, and there's no outcome to it. There's no funnels. There's no retargeting. There's no call to actions. There's nothing like that happens on the back end to actually turn that client or turn that watcher into a potential customer or a customer. That's what funnels do. They start opting in and they start seeing things, and then you're realizing that you have a more connected audience and a more connected potential client that you could reach out to them and speak to them specifically about the things that they're most interested in. Right? That's how you build your community and your network. It's not waiting for them to call in.
No.
You're doing it through the videos and the content that you can put in front of them when you're able to track that stuff.
And hey, guys, I think this is a great place to start, but I want to stop, not start. We already started. But I want to end with, Bob has a very valid point. So there is content all around you. Once you actually start doing videos and you start creating content, you find it everywhere. You don't really have to work that hard for it anymore. But I've had conversation after conversation of people who, once we get them on video, what do you do with it? And trying to do all of that heavy lifting by yourself on all of the various social media platforms, how they format things. Even within the platforms, they have different formatting things for real, for Facebook, like I said, videos or reels or whatever it is. So you do need to have conversations with people who understand this and who are going to help position your content in the right way for people to see it. And so I think that Bob and I are both happy to be resources to you to that end, not only with content ideas, but actually creating the videos and getting them pushed out in the right way so that when someone reaches out to see you, they're going to see you because you have social proof.
Yep.
So thank you again, Bob, for being my guest today.
Absolutely.
It's always a pleasure. We do a lot of video together, so you guys can go find us together a lot on our social media platforms, but it's because we talk about things that are really important to realtors being able to build their business. So again, thank you so much, Bob. Always a pleasure.
Thank you,
You
Tamara.
guys, thank you for joining us, and make it a great day. See you next time.